What happens when you spend years meticulously crafting a public persona only to see it crumble almost overnight? For most artists, that level of backlash would mark the end, but for Taylor Swift, it became a defining moment that reshaped her entire career and ultimately transformed the music industry itself. By early 2016, it felt as though Taylor Swift had vanished. No social media updates, no public appearances, no new music, only silence. The internet had already written her story. The narrative was clear. She had been exposed, her image had fractured, and her career was finished. Yet what the world failed to understand was that this silence wasn't surrender. It was calculated strategy. To truly understand how she turned one of the most dramatic public downfalls into the most powerful comeback in modern music, you have to return to the beginning. Taylor Swift was born in 1989 in Pennsylvania, raised on a Christmas tree farm. Her upbringing was secure and comfortable. Her father worked as a financial advisor, while her mother devoted herself to raising Taylor and her younger brother. Even as a child, Taylor's dreams extended far beyond her surroundings. Initially, she was drawn to musical theater, frequently traveling to New York for acting and vocal lessons. But around the age of 10, she discovered country music. Artists like Shania Twain and Faith Hill revealed something profound. Songs could tell stories. That realization changed everything. She began writing relentlessly, treating it not as a pastime, but as a discipline. She even taught herself guitar with help from a repairman and committed to composing songs daily. While most children her age experimented casually, Taylor was already laying the groundwork for her future. Her mother recognized that determination. Instead of dismissing it as a phase, she fully supported it, driving Taylor to Nashville, the heart of country music. There, a 12-year-old Taylor entered record labels with demo CDs, requesting meetings. She was almost always turned away, but she observed something crucial. Everyone else was performing cover songs, so she leaned into what made her unique, writing her own material. That choice became her greatest advantage. At 14, her family made a life-altering move to Nashville solely for her career. It was a rare level of dedication, one that demonstrated just how serious her ambitions were. Even then, rejections persisted. Labels acknowledged her talent but considered her too young. Everything changed when she met Scott Borchetta, who was launching Big Machine Records. Where others saw uncertainty, he saw promise. Taylor signed with the label at just 15. Her debut album, Taylor Swift, was released in 2006. The industry anticipated modest success. Instead, it gradually gained momentum, driven by teenagers who connected deeply with her lyrics. She wasn't writing generic love songs, she was capturing authentic, personal emotions. Tracks like Tim McGraw felt intimate and relatable. By the time she released Fearless in 2008, everything had changed. The album featured massive crossover hits such as Love Story and You Belong With Me. It dominated the charts and won Album of the Year at the Grammys, making her the youngest solo artist ever to achieve the honor. However, success invited criticism. Doubts began to emerge. Was she truly writing her songs? Was her nice girl image genuine? And most persistently, why did she write so many songs about relationships? Her personal life became headline material. Relationships with figures like Joe Jonas, Taylor Lautner, John Mayer, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Harry Styles were dissected by the media. Instead of resisting the narrative, Taylor transformed it into art. Songs like Dear John and All Too Well were more than breakup tracks. They were vivid emotional stories. Over time, her songwriting evolved into reflections on growth, power dynamics, and self-awareness. Still, one moment would define her public image for years. At the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, Taylor was interrupted on stage by Kanye West during her acceptance speech. He claimed Beyoncé deserved the award instead. The incident shocked audiences and instantly made Taylor a sympathetic figure. Beyoncé later invited her back on stage to finish her speech. For years, that moment solidified Taylor's reputation as the innocent underdog. Then came Red in 2012, a genre-blending record that marked her shift toward pop. It was followed by 1989 and 2014, a full pop reinvention. With hits like Shake It Off and Blank Space, the album became a global success and earned her a second Album of the Year Grammy, making history. But as her success grew, so did scrutiny. Her carefully curated public image, including her famous squad of celebrity friends, began to feel overly controlled to some critics. The question shifted: was she authentic, or was everything part of a calculated brand? Then, in 2016, everything collapsed. Kanye West released a song with a controversial lyric about Taylor. His team claimed she had approved it. Taylor denied it. The situation escalated when Kim Kardashian released a video that appeared to show Taylor agreeing. The internet turned instantly. Taylor Swift is over trended worldwide. Social media flooded with snake emojis. For the first time, she was cast as the villain. She disappeared. What people didn't know was that the video had been edited. Years later, the full version would leak, showing that Taylor had never approved the most offensive part. But by then, the damage had already shaped public perception. During that same period, she was dealing with multiple public conflicts, feuds with Katy Perry, a messy breakup with Calvin Harris, and a highly publicized relationship with Tom Hiddleston. By the end of 2016, her reputation had completely flipped. In 2017, she returned, but on her own terms. She wiped her social media and posted a video of a snake reclaiming the symbol used against her. Her album reputation was darker, more aggressive, and openly confrontational. Songs like Look What You Made Me Do directly addressed the backlash. The album divided critics but was a commercial success. Beneath its tough exterior, however, were deeply personal songs about finding stability and love away from the spotlight. That stability came in the form of Joe Alwyn. Their relationship was kept private, giving Taylor space to rebuild her life outside public scrutiny. In 2019, she released Lover, a brighter, more optimistic album that reflected that newfound peace. But just as things seemed calm, another major battle began, this time over her music itself. When Scooter Braun acquired Big Machine Records, he gained ownership of Taylor's master recordings from her first 6 albums. For Taylor, it was a betrayal. She had tried to buy them back and failed. Instead of accepting it, she made a bold move. She announced she would re-record all her old albums, starting with Fearless, Taylor's version in 2021, followed by Red, Taylor's version. She began reclaiming her work. The 10-minute version of All Too Well became a cultural phenomenon, proving her storytelling power was stronger than ever. This wasn't just about ownership, it was a complete shift in how artists could control their careers. Then came 2020. During the global pandemic, while the industry slowed down, Taylor released 2 surprise albums, Folklore and Evermore. They were quieter, more introspective, and critically acclaimed. For many critics, it silenced any remaining doubts about her artistry. By 2023, she returned to the stage with something unprecedented, the Eras Tour. It wasn't just a concert, it was a full-scale journey through every phase of her career. The demand was so massive that ticketing systems struggled to handle it. The tour became the highest grossing in history, turning into both a cultural and economic phenomenon. At the same time, she released The Tortured Poets Department, breaking streaming records yet again. Her influence had expanded beyond music, touching sports, film, and global media, especially with her relationship with Travis Kelce drawing massive attention. From a small-town girl writing songs in her bedroom to one of the most powerful figures in entertainment, her journey has never followed a predictable path. What makes Taylor Swift different isn't just talent or timing, it's her ability to adapt. Every criticism, every scandal, every setback, she turns into material, into strategy, into growth. She has been the underdog, the hero, the villain, and ultimately the architect of her own empire. And that's why her story matters, because she didn't just survive the music industry, she rewrote the rules.